do?
My name is Adolfo Mejia. I'm a stagehand with Local 16. I primarily work as a rigger, carpenter, occasionally electrician, and pretty much anywhere else they decide to throw me.
How long have you been a stagehand for?
I still keep losing track. I think it's been about 6.5 years now. Yeah.
Stop. I don't think this audio is. All I can hear is clatter and concussion.
I think it's okay.
All right.
The lab is isolating his voice quite well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
That's all right.
Go ahead. How long have you been a stagehand for?
Approximately 6.5 years.
What do your daily job duties include? And try to restate the question in your answer, please.
My daily job duties vary depending on the position I'm filling. Sometimes I've done a few production positions where I'm kind of doing the planning. Other times it's just doing paperwork on the occasional stewarding call that I might be on. Other times I'm just pushing boxes.
What's your favorite show you've ever worked on?
My favorite show, I don't know. They've all kind of blended together after a while. I would say my biggest kind of nerd geek music moment was Rancid played a benefit at the ballpark for the fire, Band Together. I think that was 2 or 3 years ago now. And only time I've ever approached a musician, which was Armstrong, and just kind of fist bumped him and said thank you for the show. I've seen the Black Keys. That was cool because that was one of my earlier shows with the local, so that was fun. But it's hard to say what my actual favorite show was. Like I said, they all kind of just blend together after a while.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about being a stagehand?
That I'm never really doing the same thing for too long. Even when it's the same position, might be at the same venue. It's...
We're at a bar. I don't know if it's okay for you to have natural bar sounds.
Well, some, but this is all very distracting.
Yeah. Do you know if we could request while we're recording, maybe like less talking and the door is super loud? That'd be awesome. Thank you. Right. Go ahead. Best show, Rancid, right?
No, that was not the... We were at...
What's your favorite thing about being a stagehand?
Favorite thing. Favorite thing about being a stagehand is that I'm never doing the same thing for too long. Even if I'm at the same venue again with the same show a following year, it's never the exact same process, either because the crew is different or because there's just a slight variation in the actual show that we're installing. Sometimes it looks the same in the end as far as the final product, but the process that we went through to actually get to it is just, we never know what we're going to get into. There's always some kind of a hiccup.
What's your least favorite thing about being a stagehand?
That I'm never doing the same thing. I was just talking to someone recently about this. It's one of those things where we seem motivated by the challenges that we get into, but there are those occasions where, whether it's certain coworkers or the job itself or the client, sometimes it feels like, okay, we're a little over our heads, but we're going to get it done. So I think that the challenge is definitely the curse and the blessing of the job.
Do you feel adequately compensated for what you do?
Generally, there's probably a few situations where I don't want to say we necessarily went above and beyond, but I feel like, I did my best to try to help the client, and somewhere up higher in the food chain, they aren't really taking care of us as well as they could. And sometimes that has to do with the particular production company that we're working for. Other times, it's a contractual thing. You know, it's just the way it works.
Do you feel safe?
Generally.
Can you talk about safety at work?
I mean, in what capacity? It's
Like-
saying working safely, like, and nothing we do is innately safe. Everything we do is innately risky. Another conversation having with someone was the fact that it's all about reducing the risk factor. We're never 100% safe in what we do, especially if we're doing like an outdoor thing. It's just the weather can play a huge factor, and so it's always about reducing that. I mean, I feel safe with my coworkers for the most part. That's not to say that there aren't certain practices that probably shouldn't be taking place, but it's never something where I walk onto a job site and I'm instantly afraid of being there. It's just there are certain things that we all try to be aware of whenever we begin a job, whether it's pushing cases off of a truck onto the dock safely, or hanging something overhead, standing up a piece of scenery, plugging in lights properly. I mean, it's, as far as the safety factor, it varies.
Do you consider yourself a thrill seeker?
I'd be lying if I said no, but I'm not one of those Mountain Dew monster drinking guys, but I do ride a motorcycle. I do like to climb. Always enjoyed roller coasters when I was young. So I guess, yeah, there's part of me that's definitely a thrill seeker.
Would you say that there's a certain temperament among stagehands?
Depending on the day of the week, depending on the hour, yeah. I mean, some of us show up grumpy, some of us take a minute to warm up into the day. Others of us, you know, are less affected. I mean, I certainly have my moments where I could care less all day, and then other times, depending on the situation, I'm trying not to lose my temper. So, yeah, we have a certain quality about us.
What do you think all stagehands share?
Lack of sleep. That's probably the one thing we could all say we come together on. Never sleep enough. I don't know, coffee and cigarettes maybe?
A little bit. Is that Paul? Is it the owner? Okay, what needs to happen? Will you find out? We're gonna keep talking. Okay, so you only work in the local 16. So San Francisco, you can't compare it to other unions.
No, I haven't really worked with other unions.
But there is something special about the local 16. Will you talk about that? Like the diversity.
I mean, from what I know of other locals, we're kind of a do all trades union.
All right,
What?
pack it up, let's go,
Oh, okay.
right now.